Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. Dimension. Man has always dreamed of conquering the barrier of the atmosphere. The problem is on the drawing boards of aeronautical engineers and atomic physicists. They can calculate the power needed, the trajectories, and the equipment. On the sound stages of Hollywood, the engineers and special effects men have combined to bring that day to life. The day when the first rocket leaves Earth for outer space. Now, a radio play taken from the advanced screenplay of the George Pal Technicolor production, Destination Moon. On the vast concrete strip at Dry Wells, Texas, the form of the rocket towers above the cranes, the loading machinery, and the scuttling trucks and jeeps. The fuel lines snake across the concrete to the rocket. It's Destination Moon. A small pursuit plane circles in for a landing on the runway, turns and taxis toward the prefab buildings at the edge of the strip.
Here comes General Thayer. Got those reports, Dr. Cargrave?
All ready, Barnes.
Well, you made good time. Hi there, General. Over here.
Barnes, I've got to talk to you.
Hey, you just made it, General. Everything's running smooth as a clock. We ground test in 20 minutes.
Come on over to the office.
What's the matter?
Come on, Barnes.
Something happened in Washington?
Something always happens in Washington.
Let's have it straight, General.
Our application for a test license was denied.
Denied?
I'll quote. In the opinion of the commission, should the engine fail structurally, the dispersal of radioactive material would mean danger to the surrounding area.
But we've evacuated the blast
No
area.
use, Barnes. The commission is pretty sensitive about public opinion. The Galavan newspaper chain has been after our scalp. They got mine anyway.
What do you mean?
I've been retired.
Thayer.
You got a job for next general? Pretty handy with a lug wrench.
I can't do that. Where would the Air Force be if you hadn't kicked them into using the jet-fuel jet engine on pursuits?
It's not as simple as all that. One-star generals can't go into the Department of Defense and pound desks. I did.
Some of those old mossbacks would still be using horse cavalry if they could get away with it. Now, this ship will work. I know. I built it.
I don't suppose we'll ever know. The commission won't reverse itself.
Wait a minute. Cargraves, ship's all ready, isn't it?
Except for minor installations, yes.
General, I've been building and flying ships by the seat of my pants since they had piano wire between the wings. Now, this baby either works the first time or she doesn't.
What do you mean, Bond?
The commission refused permission to ground test, right?
Yeah?
All right. We won't ground test. Cargraves, what's the next astronomical optimum?
3:47 tomorrow morning.
We'd better get busy then. We've got just 17 hours to get that ship ready. And then we take off for the moon.
Hey, Brownie.
What do you want, Sweeney?
What color is the skin temperature lead wire on the chart?
Orange with a black stripe.
This stuff looks like insulated macaroni. I got it.
Hurry up, will you? We're running behind.
What's your rush? You're going along on this clam bake, aren't you? Can't you wait to break your neck?
Hey, look out for the starter. Come on, move. We got to take off before somebody slaps a writ on us.
Brownie, you really going?
Sure.
Beats me. What do you want to go to the moon for?
To see what's on the other side.
Ask a stupid question, you get a stupid answer. What's the separation rate positive lead?
Red and white spiral. Oh.
What's the matter?
I'm not going to bellyache.
Eating green apples?
No, I'm all right. Come on, Sweeney, get busy. We've got 2 hours left to patch this mess together.
Mr. Barnes.
Oh, what is it, Sweeney?
It's Brown. They just took him to the hospital.
They what? Well, is he all right?
He will be after they cut out his appendix.
There goes our radio, man.
There's no chance of finding a substitute?
No, it's special equipment. Brown installed it himself. I've got it. Barnes here. What?
Well, we'll have to delay
Sure.
it for a month.
Okay, goodbye. We can't, General. That was Hastings at Dry Wells. There's a United States Marshal driving over. Something leaked, and he's got a court order forbidding the takeoff.
We were so close.
Yeah. $1 million gone up the flue.
You want me to give a standby, Mr. Barnes?
I suppose. Wait a minute. Sweeney,
Yeah.
you installed that communication equipment with Brown, didn't you?
Yeah, but...
Then you must know the
You
operation.
could go in Brown's place.
The moon? Oh, no, not me.
It's an important project, Sweeney. The scientific advance.
There's the military aspect, Sweeney.
I had 4 years of the military aspect, General. That's enough.
Afraid?
You're darn tootin'.
That ship is safe.
Maybe, maybe not.
But, Sweeney...
Look, you guys aren't going to get anywhere pressuring me. Maybe you got reasons to go to the moon. You, Mr. Barnes, you got $1 million tied up in a ship. It's your scientific baby, Doc, and the General's out on a limb in Washington. Well, what's in it for me?
Now, that's no way to talk, Sweeney. It's an important advance for the whole world.
You pardon the expression, baloney.
Sweeney.
I work on a scientific theory, too, General. Hooray for me, you look out for yourself. I ain't going.
I don't like to say this, but this isn't the time to consider yourself, Sweeney. This country's defense hangs on being the first to develop space travel.
Somebody else, not me. There's nothing I want on the moon.
All right. We'll take care of that. Sweeney, I'll offer you $10,000 bonus and a 10% royalty on the ship patents out of my cut.
Barnes.
It's no use to me unless we get off before that marshal gets here from Dry Wells. Well, Sweeney, you'd be rich enough to retire. You could take it easy the rest of your life.
Well, now you're talking my language, Mr. Barnes. Okay. When do we leave?
Clear field for firing. Clear field for firing.
All set, Hastings.
Right. I'll be tracking you from control center. Hey, what's that car doing? He's coming right out on the field.
Marshal, Doc, General, Sweeney, inside.
Hey! Hey, Barnes!
Button her up.
Hey! Hey there, commander of that ship. I've got a court order. You can't take off.
Tough, mister. You can't do this.
Hey! Hey!
Save your knuckles, fella. You couldn't get in that ship with a blowtorch. Burns can't do this. Suppose you tell him all about it when he gets back from the moon.
Sweeney, warm up your communication circuits.
Yes, sir. Calling traffic shack.
Traffic calling rocket to Blue. Over.
Get a clearance check.
Give us a clearance, traffic. Over.
All clear. Dry Wells is ready for tracking. Over.
Power.
Power ready.
Communications.
Yeah.
Co-pilot.
Automatics ready.
Give the warning signal. Give me a time check on the computer.
03:47:58.
Stand by for count off and firing.
Stand by for count off and firing.
Roger.
For check. 2:48. 10.
Check.
Coming up 30 seconds.
29. 28.
I'll lie back on the acceleration
7.
couches. Worst pressures
6.
will be over in 4 minutes.
5.
Barnes.
General.
4.
I don't like having a man along who isn't with it.
Sweeney, it's too late now.
Make it pretty tough. If he's half-hearted
We'll
now...
worry about that later.
7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Fire.
What happened? Noise. All gone.
Past speed of sound. Switch on televiewer aft.
I can't. Can't move. Pressure. Switch is right under your finger. Go on. That's it.
Time. 3:50:12. Altitude 2 miles.
Get your sun goggles on. It'll be coming through in a minute.
There's the dawn line.
And the sun.
It works. This thing really works.
Now, look in the viewer. There's the Earth down there.
Yeah.
Time. 3:51:10. Altitude 20 miles. Time. 3:53:50. Altitude 807 miles.
That's the end of the blast. We're in free fall. Unbuckle your straps.
Hey. Hey, I'm falling. I'm falling up.
There's no gravity up here. We don't weigh anything.
I don't feel so good. How do I get down from the ceiling? I feel lousy, seasick.
No, space sick.
What's the difference so long as I ain't healthy?
There's a bottle of pills under the head pad. They ought to settle your stomach. I'll break out the magnetic shoes. Then we can at least keep our feet down on the floor plate. Here, Sweeney, you put these on.
Hand them up.
All right. Here. Now you can walk down the wall. Try it.
Like this? Hey, like a human fly. You know, this is the second time I ever walked on a ceiling. Only this time I'm sober. Hey, General, would you mind tapping that ham sandwich back and float it away from me?
Feeling better, Sweeney?
Yeah, I guess so. It's a heck of a note when your meal floats away from you before you eat it.
Sweeney,
Yeah, Mr. Barnes.
I tried to crank out the radar antenna. She's stuck.
Well, let me see. All right. Stuck all right. I don't understand it. I greased it good.
Grease? Well, no wonder it's stuck. It's exposed to outer space. It must be frozen solid.
What's the idea, Sweeney? Didn't you read the engineering manual?
Yeah, and a flush fitting gets greased. Don't jump on me.
Well, if we can't get that radar mast cranked out, we can't land on the moon.
Well, it's all right by me.
Don't you realize that half the value of this trip is in the landing? Geological surveys, radiation tests.
Look, General, I told you before I started, this whole thing is slug nutty to me. Who wants the moon? We're trying to be first with the old Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Sweeney, this isn't getting that mast fixed. Well, we've got to go outside in spacesuits and chip it loose.
Outside? You mean outside the ship?
You can't fall. You'll be in the same trajectory as the ship. Worst that could happen would be to drift away.
Drift away. Don't bother getting one of them monkey suits for me. I'm comfortable in here.
Sweeney, we've taken enough from you. We can't let one man endanger the whole project. You get out there in a spacesuit, or we shove you out without one.
All right, all right.
Oh, that's settled. You got us into this mess. You're going to help get us out. General, break out the spacesuits. Close the interlock. Now, let's get this straight. Keep your magnetic shoes on the hull plates. Your safety line's hooked. If you break loose, we won't be able to go after you. You'll hit the moon at 20,000 miles per hour and squash.
Hey, wait a minute. How come General Thayer don't go?
That's right. He doesn't go. He's co-pilot.
Okay, I just asked.
All right. Now, let's make sure our intercom walkie-talkies are warmed up.
All set. Check.
All right. Fasten helmets.
Hello. Hello, Doc.
I hear you, Barnes.
I'm okay.
Check instruments. Open up about the lock. All set. Open the outer door, Doc.
Look at that, will you?
1,000,000 stars.
20,000 miles an hour, free fall and no breeze.
That's right. No air. And we haven't got time for the scenery. Let's get to work.
Can you two handle it? I want to go aft to see how the firing tubes held up.
All right, Doc. Come on, Sweeney. Let's get to work. Loose now. Pull the mast out, Sweeney.
Slippery as a hog on ice.
Yeah. Now let's get back.
Suits me. That's the Earth up there?
Western Hemisphere. You can see America. That dark strip against the light.
Pretty far away, huh?
Barnes.
Sorry, Graves. What's the matter?
Help, I'm loose. I'm drifting.
Stop. What happened?
My shoe magnet's pulled loose.
There he is. The safety line broke.
Hurry, help.
He's too far to keep a line.
Oh, he's cooked. We'll never get him back.
Hello, General Thayer. All right, Bonds. I heard you on the control room speaker. I'm coming outside. Bring an oxygen tank. Got that? Right. Hurry.
What are you going to do? Throw him a bottle of air and forget about him?
Barnes, help.
Now, all right, Doc. General Thayer's coming out of the lock.
Where's Congrave?
50 feet out down the left. Give me that oxygen tank.
What are you going to do?
Trying to hook my shoes first.
You're crazy. You'll float away, too.
I can use the pressure in the oxygen tank for a jet. Maybe I can ride the tank out there if there's enough power from the nozzle. Just turn the bell. There.
What was that?
Recoil's making my helmet light shake. I'll try it again.
Hey, it works. Like an outboard motor.
Keep going, Barnes. About 30 feet more. Swing a little to the left.
All right. A couple more shots. There. Now, reach out for me, Doc.
You're too far. I can't.
can't. Hang on, Doc. One more shot. There. Hang on.
Can you get back, Bob?
If we don't, we tour the universe together. Hang on to me, Doc. All right. You aim us when I turn the bell.
You're drifting farther, Bob.
There better be enough pressure to get us back. Here we go.
Oh, we're moving.
Yes, enough. That's enough. Pressure's almost down in this tank. There's the last of the gas.
We're too far out, Barnes. They can't reach us with a line.
Get you back to the ship. On the count of 3, push the tank as hard as you can. The reaction may shove us in close enough.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Here they come, General. Grab them. Reach out, Barnes. Grab the line.
I got it.
All in.
Thank God.
Well, glad to have you aboard.
There she is. The moon.
Stand by for landing procedure.
That's pretty rugged country down there.
Stand by to turn ship. Fasten straps. Altitude fair.
27.3.
All right. Turning ship.
Hey, you're leveling off. You're turning too far. We'll go backwards.
We land backwards. Use the jets for brakes.
Holy smokes, you mean sit down on the tail?
Ground speed 1.52. Stand by for deceleration. Now, fire. Radar.
Closing is spotted.
Give me view aft on the screen.
Hey, we can't land down there. Look, mountains, cliffs.
That's the crater Harpalus. We're heading for a smooth plane short of there.
Don't look smooth to me.
I'm going to kill our forward speed. Stand by.
You won't clear the mountain. Give another blast.
I can't. We won't have enough power to get home.
You will make that cliff on the right.
Look out, we're going to crash.
Barnes, blast.
You've got right. Now. Automatic landing.
Automatic in.
Hang on for emergency landing. Stand by for the blast. Hold it. Now. Jack down. Get out your gyros. That was a lousy landing.
Darn safe.
Yes, but I wasted reaction mass we'll need to get home.
We'll worry about that later. Right now, I want to get out there and plant my feet on the moon. The moon.
Ready to open the decompression lock?
Check.
I'm set.
And you're inside control, Barnes?
Yeah.
Sure you don't want to leave the ship?
I'll be out later. I've got to contact Earth.
All right, let's go. Open the outer door.
All right, be sure you don't fall. You puncture your suits on the rocks, you're done. And look out for the low gravity. You'll weigh 1/6 what you did on Earth.
All right, let's go.
Hey, what is this stuff? Dust?
Pilot, Robert. Go ahead, Doctor. Claim it officially.
Oh, yes. In the name of the United States of America, I take possession of the planet Moon, of and for the benefit of mankind. Well, let's now get down to business. Sweetie, you set up the astronomical camera.
Barnes, what's the matter?
Get back here, all of you, right away.
We were just starting work.
You've got to get back. I've been talking to Earth. We may not get off. We may be stuck on the moon for good.
Hello. Hello, Earth. Reaction mass down to 0.8672. Wasted power in a bad landing. Request new figures for return trip.
Earth to Luna. Looks bad, Mr. Barnes. I'll have to run it through the machine. In the meantime, dump everything you can. I'll check back with the result.
I'll be standing by. Roger. Out.
Well, Barnes?
Well, we wasted too much power on that lousy landing. Hastings checked the figures. We've got the lightened ship. We've got just 4 hours to get off. If we miss that, we don't get another chance to hit the Earth for another month.
We don't have more than 10 days' oxygen supply.
Exactly. Come on, we better start dumping, and we better pray we can get rid of enough weight. Acceleration pad 4, serial 706, schedule B, 14 pounds.
Check. Give me a hand, Doc. Yes. Airlock's full. I'll put my helmet on and shove the junk out of the lock.
Fonz, is that everything we can get out?
3 of the spacesuits will be dropped before we take off.
How about the 4th?
We'll have to keep that so we can open the airlock to shove the others out.
I've got a removable bridge I could dump.
You may have to, General. Well, Hastings is due back now with the takeoff figures. Hello, Earth. Luna calling Earth.
All right, Mr. Barnes. We hear you. How much weight have you dropped?
4,003 pounds, Earth weight.
Then you're still short 110 pounds.
What?
If you can dump 110 pounds, you can coast home.
Well, we're stripped. We unbolted the locker doors, junked the radar chassis and mounts. We'll have to take a chance as we are.
It's suicide. You haven't enough reaction mass to clear the moon.
You could be wrong, couldn't you?
I could, but not the computer. I'll be standing by, Mr. Barnes. Over.
All right, Hastings. Out. 110 lousy pounds.
What happens if we're not light enough? We fall back and crash. Or just go into an orbit around the moon. Just keep going around? Yeah, that's it. We've got 14 minutes left till takeoff time. Oh, that's fine. I could have gone over Niagara Falls in a barrel, but I had to come to the moon.
Well, it's pretty simple. 110 pounds. One of us stays.
Yes. I guess that's it.
Highway 180. That's plenty.
Now, wait a minute, General.
I'm the oldest one here.
Yeah, and I'm the captain of this ship. If anyone stays,
That is
I
nothing to
give
do-
the orders here. Doc is the engineer. General pilots when you hit the Earth atmosphere.
But, Bond...
I've got no family, so I stay.
No. You've got to go back, both of you. I've been discredited. They won't listen to me. You've got to tell them what you've seen.
Listen, General,
You've got to tell them what the Earth looked like from here. Vulnerable, defenseless, hanging in the sky. I knew this trip would have military value. Well, it does. Can you imagine atom warheads launched at Earth from up here? The moon is the perfect base for an attack on the Earth. Remember, it's only 1/6 as hard to shoot rockets from here to Earth as it is the other way. You've got to tell them the only government to control the moon must be a world government.
General, I guess you don't know it. But what you just said means you've got to get back to Earth and convince them even if the rest of us don't make it.
Bonds, don't...
No, General, that's all there is to it.
Now, listen, Mr. Barnes, General.
Never mind, Sweeney. You're not in on
Don't
this.
worry, you'll get back.
I was going to say, why don't you heroes match for it? Odd man's out.
All right, Bonds, I'll go for that.
I'm in.
No.
2-1, Bonds.
Well, all right. What do we use?
You can match buttons off your overalls.
All right. Each one pull off a button. I'd better check Hastings on Earth.
Here's my button. Cargrave.
Hello, Earth.
Standing by, Mr. Barnes.
We're working it out. One of us stays behind.
What?
We're matching for it. Check time.
Well, it's only 110 pounds. Isn't there some
Check
other...
time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt the program Dimension X for just a moment for 2 important bulletins from the wires of United Press. From Seoul, Korea, the North Korean radio says the North Korean Communist government formally declared war on South Korea effective at 11 a.m. Sunday, Korean time. And then a little later, this bulletin from Washington. State Department officials say they will hold Russia responsible for the North Korean attack against the independent South Korean Republic, which this country and the United Nations brought into being and have supported. We now return to the program Dimension X.
Yes, sir. 9:41:50. 10 minutes to 0 hour.
Check. That's all, Hastings. We'll take off with 3 men. All right. Ready to match?
Hey, what? The airlock.
Sweeney, he went out. What's he doing? What?
He's going out. Out there on the moon.
Shine on, Harvey.
Hello, Sweeney. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, Bonds. Hiya.
Oh, come back in here, you fool.
Blow it. It's nice out here.
Come back, Sweeney. You're going home.
Yeah, some other time. Remember me to the girls. Honey girls.
Listen, Sweeney, come back. This trip doesn't mean that much to you. We've talked you into it. Nobody can expect you to do this. Now, don't be crazy.
Why not? I'm a lunatic. Get it? A lunatic.
Sweeney, come back.
Listen, I lighten your ship. Get it? 160 pounds. That's me. Now, go on. Take off.
Come back, Sweeney. You can't do this.
Listen, you guys wouldn't count me in on the matching. Oh, no. I run on hooray for me, and you look out for yourself. Well, maybe you change my mind. I've been looking up there at that Earth hanging in the sky. We're going to build something on this moon. All of you guys got to go back. Doc, he's the guy to work it out in the lab. Bonds, you build the ships. And the general, he's got to pound those desks and see that it gets done right. You'll need me.
Sweeney, wait a minute. Come
Go on, Blow. Get going. You're spoiling my whole day. So long,
You
heroes.
don't understand. We can take off, all of us.
What do you mean? What's 110
Now
pounds?
listen to what I say. Get back in here, and on the way, pick up a screwdriver and a rat tail file and an oxygen tank.
What's the deal?
Get back in here. I've got a way to get us all off, if it works.
Now, Sweeney, we're reading you clear on the intercom speaker. You in the airlock yet?
Yeah.
Now, your spacesuit weighs around 70 pounds. The radio weighs 50.
Yeah, but I can't open the outside door of the airlock without my suit. What are you trying to pull, Bonds?
After you chuck the radio out, you file a hole in the gasket on the outer door. Got that? Then you tie your safety line to the oxygen tank, pass it through the hole. It hangs outside. You got that?
Yeah?
Then you close the outside door, get out of your suit, come in here. We close up, decompress, and open the outside door again.
Oh, I get it. The tank pulls the suit out of the lock.
Right. And if it works, we all get home. Now, hurry now, Sweeney.
8 minutes to calculated takeoff time. 8 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All set, Sweeney?
Yeah, I shut the radio out. Close the outer door. Air pressure up. I'm getting out of my suit. This doorway's pretty narrow, Bonds. If the suit don't clear, we're sunk.
We'll have to take that chance.
All right, here I come.
All set.
Close the inner door. Decompress. Now the outer door.
It ain't moving. I can see it through the port. Coming up 1 minute. 1 minute to take off.
Foot of the suit caught on the intake.
No. It's sliding out. Get clear of that door, brother. Get clear.
There it goes.
We're in. 40 seconds.
Close the outer door, Sweeney. Stand by for takeoff, everybody.
30 seconds. 29.
Sweeney,
28.
I don't think I could have done that.
26.
Just walk out.
Oh, baloney.
I haven't got that kind of courage.
23.
I'd have had to make a speech.
22,
A big,
28,
heroic speech.
20. 19.
I didn't have the guts to just walk out.
17.
No, it's...
60.
All right, stand by.
14.
Communications?
Fine. Just
12.
handy.
Co-pilot?
11,
Automatic set.
10, 9,
Stand by.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Fire.
All right, we're clear.
Son of a gun!
We're clear. We're heading home. Time 2:50:36. Destination Earth.
You have just heard.
Check, testing, motherfucker. Good morning. I'm here. Whew. Yesterday's show was exhausting, but I'm here. Didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. So good morning, everyone. I am here. I'm live, barely. I'm exhausted. This is, this morning. Good morning. Wow. That's good stuff right there. Good morning, Joey. How are we today? Turn my mic up a little bit here. Hey, how's it going? So, nobody came by yesterday. I was here. I was live. I did my show. I wasn't going to, and then I did. And boy, what a show it was! A hell of a show. We talked about Andy Lambros, the Baloney Kid, and Rodney Allen Rippey, the Whopper. I mean, the Jumbo Jack Kid. Not much known about those guys. Today is Old Time Radio Wednesday, and today we are discussing old time radio. Yeah. Old time radio. This is, this right here is the album of the day. This is Potlatch by Redbone. One of my, in fact, this is my favorite Redbone album. I have 4. I do not have the album with their only number 1 hit. But then again, that's not one of my favorite songs. I'm tired. I worked 11 hours last night and worked 12 previous. Oh man. Well, geez, what are you doing? You should be in a coma or something. My goodness. I slept pretty much as you worked yesterday. I slept all day yesterday. I got up, I did this, I went back to sleep. I got up, I went back to sleep. I got up, I went back to sleep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So. It's the usual schedule this morning. Coffee, bong hits. And of course, conversation. What are we conversating about today? Well, I think we're going to converse about Dimension X. X. But first, what's been going on? Not a whole lot. Like I said, I slept. I did a lot of sleeping. I caught up on a lot of sleep. I wasn't going to do a show yesterday. And then I got up out of bed at 4 in the morning with the alarm. Yawned and stretched. There was no coffee creamer. So I was kind of bummed. And then after I used the restroom, I realized that my daughter was still awake. And I thought, well, gosh, if she's still awake, then I'll still be awake. And I had already put a message on Facebook that I wasn't going to do a show. And then I decided, fuck it, I'll do a show. And then I forgot to repost that, hey, I did a show. Did I listen to the boy in me? I listen to the boy in me every day. And the boy in me right now says, you better smoke some pot, fucker. No, I did not. I tried, but it was Monday, and I slept too long, and Natalie was like ready early, so we like bailed. And then yesterday I slept all day. So I have decided that my album listening will probably take place 1 or 2 days a week. And I will sit and I will go through the stack that I have put aside for the week. And I will either be listening to them the weekend or one day during the week. I have to actually schedule music appreciation. And right now it is scheduled for today. because I don't believe I have anything scheduled for today. Yeah, I don't have anything scheduled. I'm just going to be sitting here digging around on the computer all day. Isn't that swell? Isn't that swell? Well, look. We keep looking at my table here. Hey, here I am. Like you guys want to see me clean pot. You bunch of potheads. You bunch of potheads. Yeah, so I did not listen to it. Rush 2112 was yesterday's record. And The Boy in Me was Monday's record. Today's record is, of course, Potlatch, Redbone. So I've got 3 records set up to listen to on Music Appreciation Day. And I hope that everyone else takes the opportunity to do music appreciation. My daughter is actually going to be doing a music appreciation class at university in her last semester, I believe. I believe that's what she's chosen. Which is pretty cool, because if there's one thing around here that we definitely have is appreciation for music. Totally. So, yeah. Fear not. I will stick to my learning or listening schedule. It will just be, kind of relegated to 1 day a week, because I can't guarantee that I'll be able to stay in one spot long enough. Now, when my wife is around, we usually watch TV together. That's one of those things that we like to do together. We watch a lot of whatever she wants to watch. Those weird, trace amounts of blood and semen shows. What is that? Forensic Files. She really digs that one. I like to goof on them, so I'm like, I goof on anything. So it doesn't matter what she's watching, I'm going to goof on it. It doesn't matter what I'm watching, I'm going to goof on it. So, yeah, I'm a goofy guy. I'm goofy.
Gee, Mickey, I'm goofy.
Gorge. All right, doing the first icon of the day here. Totally. I had to leave my yo-yo at home Monday night. She's like, I don't know what they allow in. So I took my little fanny pack that I wear across my front here. But then I decided not to take it in. I just took in my wallet and a couple of electronic devices. And of course my bat box here, my little Woody, with my doobage in it, so I could sneak into the banyo and get loaded. Hey, if people are going to be sucking on their vapes and sneaking out for a cigarette, and everybody in the place has got some kind of booze in their hand, I feel quite comfortable going into the bathroom, locking myself into a stall, and taking a couple of hits. Who's it hurting? Nobody. Me. But, yeah. So if you see me coming, realize that I'm going to be smoking dope in your fucking bathroom. And I don't care what you think about it. If you're not going to give shit to those people blowing clouds of vape in my face, or people spilling fucking booze on my shoes, I don't feel any problem smoking pot in the banyo. I'm telling you. I told you. I ain't telling you again, damn it. Oh, that's so good. That's the only cup of coffee in the house. There was like one, almost a scoop out of the bag, and I'm like, shit. Honey, we need coffee. She says, just make a cup for yourself in the morning. Okay. And so I did. She's not going to be awake for another 3 hours anyway, so. And we have instant, and we have that International House coffee. That stuff's pretty good. I like that. It's really sugary and sweet. And I like to make it with hot milk, not water. But it's really, really good. Good stuff. So, yeah. What do we, any more follow-up on yesterday's show? No, I don't think so. I wish there was more that we could find out about those two guys that we talked about yesterday, but there's just not much going on. There's just not much, yeah. So, anyway, and watch the show and tell me what you think about Andy Lambros, the BOLOGNA kid, and Rodney Allen Rippey, the Jumbo Jack kid. Yeah. Anyway, today's show is pretty much dedicated to old-time radio. Now, Dimension X. Well, Dimension X is one of those shows that was a very famous science fiction radio anthology series from NBC. And it premiered in 1950, I believe. And let me see if I can get to my Dimension X file. Which keyboard here? There we go. So, it's a great show. It spawned X-1 a few years later. After its conclusion, it only ran a season. Dimension X ran 45 episodes, and 5 of those episodes were repeats. Right? Totally. Well, let's see here. (1950 to 1951). It's a dramatic half hour. Yep, anthology genre. Directed by Fred White and Edward King. Now, what was great was the writers. George Lefferts and Ernest Kenoy were the writers, but most especially, they were the adaptation writers. There were a few others, but George Lefferts and Ernest Kenoy both went from the X-1 series, and then a few years later were brought back for the Dimension X series, and they wrote and adapted some fantastic shows. One of my favorite science fiction writer, Robert Anson Heinlein. He and Ray Bradbury spent the most time on Dimension X and X-1. Out of the 45 episodes, probably a quarter of them were written by Ray Bradbury and Robert Heinlein, as well as Ernest Kenoy and George Lefferts. They wrote a great amount of the stories as well. Their adaptations were fantastic. This morning we listened to Dimension X and an episode called Destination Moon, which was actually a movie adapted from Robert Heinlein's book, Destination Moon. I looked feverishly this morning, but it's probably in a box of DVDs for the copy of Dimension X, or rather the Destination Moon. Just absolutely fantastic. Let me see if I can dig up the old, a trailer. Okay. Also this morning I just found out that Val Kilmer has passed away, and another one. There goes another one. Richard Chamberlain and Val Kilmer. There you go. Yeah, sucks getting old, huh? Well, I'm just going to run through, pardon me, just going to run through here real quick and through a file and see if I can dig up a movie trailer for Destination Moon. Here it is. Alright. So I'm going to boot up this movie trailer here and we can check it out. And hopefully I won't get hit with a copyright because we are live. How about this?
It is just minutes before takeoff time in the uninhabited desert of White Sands, New Mexico.
Tell them to stand by for count off and firing.
59. Sorry about
58. 57.
But to reach this dramatic moment were months of construction, checking every detail 1,000 times, and a desperate struggle to convince the skeptical, to outwit those who would stop us, to muster up courage to challenge the black, airless void of terror-stricken space.
Come back to your job. Please come back.
17. 16. 15.
All right, take it away!
13. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Fire! We're stuck here. Who got me here? I didn't want to come.
You can blame me, Joe.
I could have blown my brains out, or gone over Niagara Falls in a barrel, or found some other decent way to die.
The picture you've been reading about in every important national magazine and newspaper. Among them, Life. This week, the New York Times, Popular Science, Seeing Stars, Popular Mechanics, Parade, the New York Daily News.
Wait a second. Oh, there we are. So there you go. That's Destination Moon. That is the movie version that they're actually talking about during the show. Yeah. There we go. So Destination Moon, written by Robert Anson Heinlein, fantastic science fiction writer. That movie is an adaptation of the book, as is the radio show. It's an adaptation, and it's just fantastic. If I'm not mistaken, Ernest Kanoy adapted all of Robert Heinlein's work on both series. So yeah, there you have it. There it is, right there in front of you. And I had a camera go off because I forgot to turn on my overhead light, which the outlet on the overhead light here is what powers this overhead camera. And yeah. I am a ray of fucking sunshine. I am. So there you go. There you have it. There it is, right there in front of you. And I can't take it any longer. So today's show is kind of, we're getting our toes wet with the thematic portion of the morning show. So I've set up a couple of extra cameras, and we have access to our graphics computer. We have a camera set up over my table here, so I can share with you whatever it is that I'm wanting to look at this morning. I can also, as soon as I get rolling, turn on my overhead light here and cast these shadows aside. Yeah, but as you can see on my table there, I'm ready. I'm ready to do some bong hits, so I'm going to do that. I got clean water in the bong. I got some fresh dubage here. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Let's see. Yesterday, my wife and I watched, after the show, we watched an episode of McCloud from 1974, I believe. McCloud went to Hawaii. Cowboy in Paradise was the name of the episode, and it was great because it was like right on the heels of Hawaii Five-0, and it was a couple of years before they started the series Magnum P.I. So, yeah, Magnum P.I. started in 79, and this episode was in 74, so we're about a 5-year gap. They've done a lot of stuff in Hawaii. Hawaii has seen a lot of footprints from Hollywood. Most notably the Bradys, the Brady Bunch in Hawaii. Oy vey, loosely translated in Hawaiian means keep them fucking Bradys off the island. That's pretty much what it means. Oy vey. Yeah. A lot of my favorite shows have been filmed in Hawaii. Most notably of late, which is still 20 years ago, was the series Lost. I loved the first 3 or 4 seasons of that show. Unfortunately, J.J. Abrams, who created the show, was it J.J. Abrams? I believe it was. And this had decided to move on, as did the production team, and decided to cancel it. So I think we had a rushed ending to that show. I think the show could have gone on for at least 7 seasons, 8, maybe 10 seasons. And I think that they really rushed the final season. Of course it was rushed because it was like half a season's worth of shows. They just wanted to get rid of it and move on, which was a bummer because it was a great show until they started to push towards the end, right? And then it just got, it went the way of everything, you know. It's like the Jodie Foster movie Contact, and who wrote that? Was that Isaac Asimov or somebody like that wrote the original? And it was a great movie. I was in the movie in the theater watching this movie Contact. And when we got to the end of the movie, and the end of the movie was, oh well, it must be God, I got up and I walked out of the fucking theater, you know, because I had never read the book, and I was just disgusted that was the only conclusion that they could come up with, was that in the end it was always God. And it was like, okay, can we get past man's what do you call it, obsession with itself, right? Because ultimately man created God in his own image, period. All right? If you disagree with me, that's fine. That's your right to disagree. I'm not going to argue the point. That's just the way I feel. That's just the way I see it, looking at history from the beginning. That without having any understanding of what was happening around us, we looked to the stars. And we gave ourselves to the stars, saying, all right, well, it must be you. And then we put a name and the face and all of that. And then of course, my big deal with Western religion is that, and most religion, is that they actually put a face. They put a human face on something that we have no idea on how to perceive. And that's where I get a little befuddled, right? when the explanation to all of science's questions comes down to, well, it's that big guy in the sky. It's okay, all right. So contact, I got up and I walked. I was so frustrated that I wanted something concrete. I wanted something substantial. And then it was, you gotta have faith. And I was like, oh, fuck, not again, right? And we put our faith on the system. We put our faith in our politicians and leaders and stuff. And what does that get us? And anyway, let's move past this because this is ridiculous. Destination Moon, Robert Anson Heinlein. Now, if you think about the moon and everything that's gone on about the moon from as far back as we could ever, I mean, some people say that 12,000 years the moon was pulled here from like Alpha Centauri or someplace. It was a planet. It was a moon revolving around another group of planets in a solar system far, far, far away, right? And so the theorists suggest that, it was actually brought here, the moon, and it's hollow, and it's a machine inside, and it looks like a moon, a planet, because of time. Time has given it its outer features, right? When things hit it, and then that stuff goes up and then comes back and lands on it because it has its own gravitational pull, right? There you go. So, eons of this thing moving around space, collecting space dust. And then what's under all that dust? Is it hollow, like our own astronauts have suggested? A piece of one of the Apollo landers fell back and hit the moon, and it hit the moon and it rang out, and it rang like a bell, echoing for hours and hours and hours, echoing. Explain that. And then it was like, no, that couldn't be. So what did they do? They tested it. They dropped something else, and what happened? It happened again. Rang like a fucking bell for hours. Oh, nah, it's not hollow. We stopped going to the moon. We went there because we had to. We didn't have to go there for any reason other than we found information on the planet Earth that said there's something on the moon. Get there before somebody else does. And we did. We got there. We figured it out, or did we? And then we left. There's no reason to go back to the moon because we already figured out what it was all about, right? Or are there bases on the moon? Is there something going on the dark side of the moon? Is the dark side of the moon a giant city? Who fucking knows? And why is it the dark side of the moon? Why is it that they say, oh, this is normal for a thing to spin around a planet and never show but one side? That's normal, right? And they'll come up with all this scientific mumbo-jumbo to say, yeah, that it's... They don't really fucking know. They don't know shit about what's going on out there. All they can do is theorize. That's all they can do. They can theorize. And then when they haven't got anything better, no concrete information, no answers that say, hey, this is then what do we get? Then we get the religious people to show up and say, okay, look, this is what it is. So I don't know. I'm confused. When it comes to what the hell's going on in the universe, I ain't got a fucking clue. But I'm not going to put a name on and a face on something when I haven't got a clue what the fuck it is. Right? No. So that, religion is fine. I am a religious person. I'm a real religious man. I'm just not your kind of religious, right? I'm my own kind of religious. I don't follow any religious doctrine. I don't follow one particular teaching or one particular book, because these things were all written by men, all right? And mostly men. All of these religious doctrines, all these texts, written by men. Most of these texts are written by men to control man and women, and especially women. Oh, talk about wanting to control your own body and your own destiny. Oh, hell no. Yep. God says it's your husband's right to do whatever the hell he wants with you. Just like bras, designed by men, because men can't control themselves. They see jiggly boobs and they get all, oh, 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 oh. So men created brassieres to protect women from men, to protect men from their own fucking tortured stupidity. You know? Jeez, get your mind out of your balls, people. We have an overpopulated planet because people can't get their minds out of their fucking crotch. And what does the modern media do? What does advertising do? Ad men? They sell sex. That's it. It's all about sex. Sex sells. Yep. Early magazines. Radio, television, movies, everywhere you look, from the beginning, it's all about control, mind control, using sex to sell, because people are uncontrolled when it comes to sex, right? If it weren't that way, we wouldn't be overpopulated. This planet wouldn't be getting destroyed right now by too many fucking idiots running around. You know, you look at these countries where it's like everything is so sexually repressed, you know, and then everybody dresses like fucking whores, and it's like I don't understand this. How can your country, like Latina countries, right? And my wife is Mexican, so I don't feel too weird about talking about this, but she's like, she knows. It's like, it's a very sexually repressed country, a very Catholic-oriented country. And then family values and stuff. And you see the girls going out to school and going out for Friday night, and they're dressed like streetwalkers. And it's like the parents are okay with this. And then it's like they're completely, the Latino parents are completely detached from the world that their children live when they're not at home. When they're at home, they know everything that's going on in their lives. And then it's like all of a sudden they're out and about, living their life, and their parents have no clue that they're out doing this or that. They don't talk the same when they're at home. They don't dress the same. They don't act the same. So it's off balance, right? My daughter's pretty much the same person here as she is when she's out in the world. I know. I see. I observe. And I know that her family values stay with her when she leaves the home. She doesn't just put them in her bag and tuck them away and then pull them out again and put them on when she gets home. You know. And I don't even think it's like that with most American kids. I mean, if they're going to go out into the world and be an asshole, they're probably pretty much an asshole at home too, right? And the parents are just like, whatever. You know. I mean, they must be, because I'm constantly confronted by asshole people that are in like anywhere from their teens. Well, I'm not going to say teens. I'm going to say from like their mid-20s to their mid-30s. There's a whole chunk of generation of kids in there that are just rude as fuck, right? My daughter's generation, I don't see that as much. I see her friends and people her age, and I talk with these people a lot because I go to these events and stuff with my daughter. And it's amazing how people from her generation are, well, a lot of people from her, I can't group everybody into one big lump, but a lot of people from her generation are just easier to get along with. And then you go 10 years down the road, and people in their 30s are just rude as fuck. You know, it's like there was this period where they were just taken over by the devil or something. I don't know. It's crazy. Absolutely nuts. I try not to dwell on society too much because it tortures me to see how things are going, how people are so controlled by their phones, so manipulated by their phones, period. Whether it's the information coming through, the bullshit, the propaganda, the I want to control you, so read this and pass it on kind of bullshit, you know, or whether it's just the the posts from people, the regular posts, you know, it's like you see these girls who are all dressed to the nines, right? And they're dressed to the nines, and they're fucking living in squalor. They're on a dirt floor. They're cooking from a fire, and this is nothing bad, all right? When I was young, I lived with a dirt floor, and we cooked over an open fire, and I shit in the woods, all right? I grew up in extreme fucking poverty, so I know. But why would you go to so extreme, such extremes, to make yourself look like you live this life, and then share those pictures from within the life that you lead, right? That and the dichotomy there is the off balance, right? It's like you want the world to see you like this, but you're also, this is the way the world really sees you, right? And I think what's really off-putting to me is the fact that they got little kids running around covered in shit, muddy, dirty, distended bellies, hungry, right? Probably cold at night. The wind blows through this little hut, right? But mommy is so concerned about Friday night or going out or hitting the streets or whatever there is, right? There's something out of balance here, right? And it's those phones that are doing it to us, because everybody wants to be seen on these devices as something other than what they are, right? You don't get too much of that here, because like I've tried to tout before, this station, this show is probably the realest reality show out there. I'm not going to pull any punches. For Christ's sake, I'm here with no teeth, right? This is reality. I'm not hiding my life, portions of my life, so that others will seem, magnified. No, this is it. This is the real world. Some days I'll have a hat to cover my bald head, and some days I got to put on glasses. On occasion, I'll put in my teeth so you can hear me talk even funnier, right? But that's just the way it is. On occasion, you'll see me dress up to go out. But I'm not dressing beyond my means. When I dress to go out, it's one of my t-shirts, my corduroy jacket, some denim, Argyle socks, and a pair of Vans. That's me. That's always me. I don't change. I'm not going to wear a tuxedo. All right, I'm never going to wear a tuxedo, unless my daughter were to get married and ask me to wear a tuxedo. Then I would. But I don't see myself ever putting on a monkey suit. I don't see myself wearing something to suit somebody else, shaving to suit somebody else, doing something to me physically or in my life to suit somebody. There's no point in that. There's no point in pretending to be somebody else ever. Ever. You are who you are. If you can't get anyone to like you because of the way you are, then you're hanging around with the wrong people. Right? That's it. I'm going to heat up my coffee because it's not on my warmer. So I got to do that. So I'll be back in a flash. I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. I'm going to put this one on here. And take my cup. Yep. Totally, man. Totally, man. So what's going on out in the world? You know what's going on here? Not a whole hell of a lot. Totally. So eventually, the morning show here, the themed portion of the show, will actually have theme music and kind of a segue deal. So what I'm going to put together at some point, and I should have done this over the break, but I had zero energy getting used to having no teeth and changing my diet to suit having no teeth. So I wasn't really concerned about anything other than staying alive, basically, for the last few months. And then I thought, you know what, I'll do a little bit of stuff on air, and I'll just I'll wing it. This is probably going to be my last season of anything on YouTube. That's just the way it goes, right? Life is like a shit sandwich. The more bread you have, the less shit you have to eat. I don't know what that means. Well, I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know what relevance it has in this conversation. Other than there's a lot of things that I wish I could do. You know, before everything is all done and said and done, finished, over with, kaput. I just found out that in June, Pure Prairie League is coming to Pioneer Town. Now, Pure Prairie League is the first album that I listened to a couple of years ago when I first got a turntable here in the home. Because we went years with having no electronic radio or stereo or anything, no Bluetooth, nothing. If we wanted to listen to music, we'd turn on the TV and go to the music channel and put on 70s or 80s or whatever. And then there was the car stereo. Other than that, we didn't listen to music in the house. It just was the way it was. My daughter was listening to music, but we just weren't. And then my father passed away, and I got a couple of records. And then I got a couple of more records. And it was like, oh, I got to get a turntable. And I got an old turntable. And this was, I would get up and I would listen to this record every morning. This Pure Prairie League, Bustin' Out, so I think that's what it was. The one with Amy on it. And, wow. Every morning. So I think that's going to be one of our albums this week that we're going to appreciate. Is going to be some some Pure Prairie League. Now, what I'm hoping is that when I see Pure Prairie League there, I can get not just some photographs and maybe some autographs, but ask them about their friends Firefall, right? And see if we can talk them into coming out to Pioneer Town. Because I'd love to see Firefall, and if we can get them to come to... Now that Pure Prairie League is coming to Pioneer Town, I have high hopes that I'm going to be able to see Firefall. Because they've got to be my favorite 70s band that is still putting out records today. So I'm going to have to do some investigation with Pure Prairie League and find out what the lineup is, the players, and find out which of these players are on which albums, get those albums, and try to get some autographs, right? Because that's what I do when a show comes to town, is I try to get involved, right? So, yeah, I'm excited about that. So I'm going to have my daughter get us tickets to that. And it'll probably be the three of us. And it's getting real difficult to go to concerts. I don't look at myself in the mirror. I see myself on camera here, but because of my hair, I don't really care too much about having teeth or not having teeth anymore. I really don't. I go out into the world, and I realize that I'm just an old fart now. You know, an old fart with bad knees and a bad back, and I got to use a cane, and I got to have a cane stool, and I got compliments on it from some youngster in his 30s or 40s. You know, if people see me as an old fart with no teeth, that's fine, because I don't. I see me as a kid inside the body of an old fart. So there you go. And this high school punk here is going to do a bong hit before I got to get into my school clothes, you know, and get ready to go to first period. I'll probably miss first period again, because when Gary shows up in the van, we usually smoke joints around the lake, going to class and picking people up, and we usually get there late. He doesn't have first period, so it doesn't matter to him. And my first period classes this semester, it's math, basic math, that I've taken 3 times. In junior high, twice, and then this is my 3rd. So, yeah, I don't care. I don't care if I'm late to school. The difference between my school work ethic and my daughter's school work ethic is like night and day. All right? Whereas I didn't give a shit about anything having to do with school. School has been her whole life since the 1st grade. Well, actually, before kindergarten, when a friend who was a babysitter, an older woman, used to watch after our daughter when we would go to work together. Sometimes my wife and I would go to work together. The deal was that until Natalie got into school, Mom would just stay at home. And then when Natalie got into school, we would start working together to bring in twice the money, right? On occasion, before our daughter started school, we let her stay with a neighbor who was just a really, really fantastic lady. And she taught our daughter how to read and write before she got to kindergarten, which proves how nice she was, but proves how smart our daughter was, that she was able to pick this all up. So by the time she got to kindergarten, she was already months ahead of anybody else in the school as far as school work, because the lady had been a teacher, so she was actually teaching, not just, you know, teaching tricks to a kid, you know, here, do this and you get a reward. No, it wasn't like that. It was like actually learning. And it was pretty cool. So because of that head start, I believe, is why our daughter has always been several steps ahead of everybody else. All of her friends, all of her schoolmates, all of her classmates, even ahead of the teachers. It's like she was so ahead of the teachers in high school that she didn't get along with some of the teachers because she didn't feel the teachers were teaching. They were just going through the motions, right? Once you get tenure, you just kind of follow the curriculum and go through the motions, and you become uninvolved with your students. And she had a couple of teachers that were like that. So thankfully now she's in her 2nd semester at university, and she's kicking ass. It should be, hopefully, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, it should be an easy road to her bachelor's degree. And then I don't know what she doesn't want to go to school anymore. She's totally tired of school. But at the same time, do you want to really go to work? Because that's what society asks of you, is that if you're not going to school to join society, then what are you going to do to join society, right? I mean, I'm not one of those guys that is a fan of society in general as it stands now. So I can't get behind her to say, yeah, you need to go out there and, find your, and all. The only advice that I can give to her is, if you're going to go out into the work field, be sure that you've invested enough time into yourself so that when you do, you can do something that you want to do, not something that you're forced to do because that's all there's available. Create a job for yourself if there's nothing available. Decide, look, these are my qualities. This is what I'm all about. How can I take all of my knowledge and personal qualities and create the perfect position for me, and then look for that position out in the world. If there's not, then start a new business, But don't go out into the world and become a slave. All right? Because every day I'm reminded of what modern slavery is. When I'm looking on TV and I'm watching a commercial about credit ratings and being able to go out into the world and do this. And he wanted a new car, and so he checked his credit rating, and it was good. And then it shows him going from a crappy car, and then boom, he's into a brand new car. And then he decided to upgrade his home, and he got out of that crappy apartment, boom, and he's in his fancy house. And now, boom, he can have a baby now because he's got good credit. And I'm thinking, how I've got everybody convinced that you need credit in order to live your fucking life. It used to be you save up the fucking money, and then you bought it cash, and you go, look at me, I own this. Not the bank, not the creditors, nobody else. I did this, it's mine. We don't do that anymore. What do? We worry about our credit so that we can enslave ourselves to somebody else and some fucking financial institution. Run screaming from that. Take those credit cards and tear them the fuck up and get rid of them. You don't need that shit. I've lived 20 years of marriage without a fucking credit card. Yeah, we've been married 25. We tried the first 5 years to do that bullshit. No. All it did was get us into debt. And then we were constantly worrying about payments. So we were constantly worried about where the money was coming from. Right? I don't worry about where money is coming from because we make enough money to deal with whatever comes along. Because we don't overextend ourselves. We don't do any fucking thing on credit. No. Yeah, no. Some people, when they die owing hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt that they leave to their fucking family. No. You can't take it with you, but you can leave the after effects behind. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. It just irks me. It irks me. I'm irked. Call me Urkel. Dude, tell me, dude. Am I? Oh, my buddy is good. So anyway, I've been. Frustrated about a lot of things. Frustrated. There was a passage, I'll have to go dig that book up, but there's a passage in the book that I'm reading, Brave New World. And Brave New World, written in 1932, right, by Aldous Huxley, takes a look into our future. And it ain't a pretty picture, because we must have, in order to get to that future, we must have had to go through exactly what we're going through now. Because that future is all about mind control, chemical persuasion, i.e. pharmaceutical companies, and manipulation with everything, even sight and smell, to manipulate people, right? But mostly chemicals. Poor education, genetic breeding. It doesn't look good. And we're headed in that direction. There's so many things that have been outlawed are happening, right? So many things in the past that were outlawed as bad for humanity. People are doing them now, left and right. Cloning. What? There's no such bullshit. There's cloning happening right now. It's happening to animals, and I'll bet you dollars to donuts that it's happening to humans. Cloning is a reality. To what end? I could only fathom some ideas, and they ain't pretty. Being a science fiction geek. I was going to say guru, and then I thought geek, and it came out gook, and it just didn't sound right. So, a guruk, a Greek, I don't know. Don't talk about the Greeks, man. Yeah. So I look at what's going on out in the world, and I see modern slavery, and we're enslaved by our own wants and desires, and we're enslaved by the need to get that almighty dollar, that piece of gold. Hey, Joey, thanks for hanging around. Yeah, if you come back, I'll be here for a little while longer. But if you gotta go to sleep, go to sleep. You work too much. You need to give it up. Get into something else, brother. Stay with it, but get into something else. Work on yourself. Make some time for self-improvement. Working is great. Bringing in that green is great. But if you're not saving it and then investing time into yourself, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Because pretty soon that's all you'll be able to do. You're young. Change now. Get out of that rut. Love you, brother. Good night. Take it easy, man. All right. And start thinking about October. As well as August. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, stay away from the whole slavery thing. And where they get you is they convince you through advertising that you need certain things in order to live your life and be the best human that you can be, right? They get into your head. They get into your heart, right? I mean, they really go after you, And it's our own fault because of poor education. We're so easily convinced that we need certain things that we just don't. We just don't. Yeah. What's in October? Ah, you're still there. Well, yeah. Just think about it. You know it's in August. But just think about October. Just think about it. Just think about it. Yeah. What is in October? I don't know. What did you do last October? What was your Halloween costume? I don't know. All right. Well, it's 6, so let's move over to the the me portion of today. So like I said before, Potlatch by Redbone is the record of the day. This is going to get added to my my stack of records for Music Appreciation Day. So far we have The Boy Inside, Tatsuro Yamashita, and Rush 2112, and now we have Potlatch from Redbone. It is my favorite Redbone album. Thursday, tomorrow, we'll have another record, but I'm also going to be discussing collections within my record collection. So I've got like all of my Iron Maidens from the 1980s, which is my decade for Iron Maiden, or the 1980s. So I've got those albums. That's kind of my Maiden collection. I've got a few other artists where I've got several of their, if not all of their albums. Lucas Nelson is someone who I have, who is one of the new artists that I am really into. I've had the opportunity to see him twice in concert. That was cool. But Thursday we're gonna discuss one of my biggest music collections, which is Tatsuro Yamashita. Oh God, I hope I'm getting this right. Anyway, good old Tat. I just found out about him recently when Joey sent me some of his stuff. In fact, he sent me a lot of his stuff. So I've got this huge, extensive record collection of Tatsuro Yamashita. So we're going to kind of get into that, and hopefully Joey will be available because he works so much, and he'll have his wits about him, and maybe we can discuss it. And at some point, we'll have the opportunity to do live telephone calls, right? You won't be able to see what I'm doing until it gets to YouTube. But you can call in and we can have a kind of a face-to-face phone conversation, and you can be live on the air. So I'm going to be doing that and getting that worked out over the next couple of weeks, so that there'll be a few months during this show, this season, where we're going to be knocking it out of the park. It ain't happening now. Right now we're kind of building up some steam so we can kind of jump into the meat and potatoes of what I want to do here, which is kind of take everything that I have around me and share it with you. It's going to be kind of a show and tell. I'll bring stuff in, I'll pop it here on the table, we'll talk about it, we'll look at it, and then we'll move on, and we'll try to bring up as much of what I have here as possible, because there's a lot of cool stuff in this room, and in storage, and in storage, and in storage, and I got to do something with it. So yeah, we're gonna try to get into as much as we can, as long with the album of the day. I think I'm also going to get into a TV guide of the week, a book of the month, or a book of the week, because I have so much here. I got to find a time to bring it to you. I think once a week for now, I'm going to switch up my coffee mugs. That needs some heat. And then when we pick up steam, I'll switch out the cups a little bit more often, because I really do have a lot of coffee mugs. I really do have a lot of hats and shirts and stuff. Make sure I don't spill any coffee on this. And I love these things that I have here. You know, I've collected a lot of crap. And I remember hearing about this girl who wrote books about what sparks joy in your life, and if it doesn't spark any joy, then get rid of it, right? And I look around me, and all of these little things spark joy, right? They do. I cannot deny it, that I am greedy when it comes to having things around me that make me happy. Mainly because I grew up in squalor, in poverty, with nothing, and anytime I did get something, it was lost to moving, lost to storage, lost to the trash, you know, favorite clothes were just lost to giant piles of dirty laundry that never got cleaned. So yeah, for me to have 100 shirts that I love to look at and love to wear, yeah, it's real important for me. You know, if I lost all of these things, par for the course, really, right? It would just be, that's just the way life is. You get things that you love and you bring them all together, and then all of a sudden they're gone. You know, and that's just what life is. So yeah, it would be a bummer to lose a bunch of my things, but that's pretty much why I want to have them here permanently. So I'm going to be bringing a bunch of these things in here, putting them on my table, sharing them with you, examining them, finding out their history, what they mean to me, where their place is in my life in the past. Yeah. So let me turn on my light here and give us a little bit of a light on the subject. Look at that. Look at my room here. I love my little room. It's a fun little room. It's not too roomy. It's just a little nook. I mean, literally, that's the wall right there. If I stretch out another 10 inches, that's the wall. And then this wall behind me is 6 inches away from my finger, and then this wall over here is 1.5 feet away. About, yeah, I'm pretty good with dimensions. The end of my table out there, that is going to be about another 1.5 feet. So it's a small room. I mean, I'm literally in a tiny little nook inside of our mobile home, because this is the spot that I've decided that I can use. So let's see. Let's start with what's on my desk. Let's do that. Let's take a look at my desk because it's all lit up. So here we go. This is my desk, and right now it says "The Boy in Me," and I have to add to "The Boy in Me" 2112 and potlatch, because that's what's in my stupid memory. I have to remember what the hell's going on. So there's that. Now, this is Tumbler Guitars, which is the guy, which is the guy who, Tumbler is the guy who took my Ibanez here and just set it up so awesomely so my old fingers can handle playing it. All right. This is my my blotter. This is my blotter here, which is a calendar, so I can keep track of what's going on from day to day. I have nothing written on it right now because I haven't figured out my schedule. Right now, my schedule is my daughter's schedule. Whatever I can do in the morning here, and then I'm the driver. So that's that. This here, all right. These things here. This is a laser etched walnut. There we go. A laser etched walnut pen holder, right? And it's all of this wood just to hold the pen. But the neat thing is that this all here is laser engraved back when they were first laser engraving stuff, and it's actually got all of its information back here, and it was given to somebody from Sherry in 1988, right? And it's genuine walnut. It's got the laser engraving mark here, and I bought this whole set because I wanted a desk set. I've actually got a really nice old desk. So here's another part of this, and let me get rid of my little note there. This is my note. There we go. This carries note paper and a pencil, and this is a vintage pencil. All right. Find it in the yellow pages, says this pencil here. So there you go. It says find it in the yellow pages because it is a vintage pencil. Because I'm a vintage guy. So let's see, what else do we have on our desk set? This. Oh, there's my Zippo. Hey, it keeps on zipping. There's a Zippo. So this is a 1970, I believe. A 1970 small Zippo. Alright, it works. Works great. Alright, this here is my pencil holder. Laser engraved walnut pencil holder. Alright, and what I've got, the theme that I've got is the ocean. Alright, the beach. And it's Northern California, so there's trees and ocean. Alright, and it's just a great laser engraved piece. Alright, and then inside here I have Burbank steel and US West. These are vintage pencils. US West, I believe, was a rental company. And here is my typewriter eraser brush, because yes, I do have typewriters, actual typewriters. And let's see, what else do I have here? My bald head. That's what I have there. Let me reach around here and grab this. And this is my card holder. And this has some of my hobby cards in here. I don't have a business, I have a hobby. So this, when I meet people, I can, and they ask, well, how do I find your YouTube stuff, man? I can just give them the card. This is my letter opener. Laser engraved walnut letter opener. There's a little blade in there to open up the envelopes. And then, let's see, last but not least is my nameplate deal. Alright. And that is laser engraved on both sides. And then it has this plate here to engrave my moniker. And I have decided to get some stick-on letters and put some stick-on letters on there, because I don't want to etch on that. I figured what I would do is I would probably put a piece of clear tape over it, and then put some letters on it, some raised letters or something, and let it go at that, so that I'm not destroying it and making it specifically for me. Yeah. Totally. I really like the idea of a Zippo. I never use a Zippo because of the gas smell. I might use it once or twice when I'm out, like to light a joint or to light somebody else's cigarette or something. But I'm not one for doing the whole... I like the way the light hits that album. That's cool. I'm not one for using a Zippo. It's just too gassy. I'm gassy enough, right? Cheers. Man, they got cold again. That means I gotta go heat this thing up. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this up. I will be back in a flash. And then I'm gonna leave the mic on, so I'm still here, really. I'm still here, but I'm gonna put the that. There we go. There you go, damn stupid crackheads. Alrighty, I'm here. Every once in a while you're going to hear a squeak, and it's my refrigerator. I don't know what it is. It's only a couple of years old, but it seems to like to make a lot of weird noises now. I don't know. I'm assuming it's probably a bunch of dog hair in there, probably in some kind of part underneath there that's fucking with it. So anyway, here I am. I'm back. There we go. Camera 1. So starting on Monday, we're going to start using boxes with our stuff in there for our theme. And this box here is a Monday box. I haven't fixed the other boxes yet because I've been a little busy. So let's see. This here. This box, the front of this box is that. Alright? And I used flowers because I like flowers. I'll decorate the other boxes differently. And by differently, I mean, let's see. On one of the boxes, I'll do this, and I'll put this on there, and I'll decorate the box accordingly. Right? For Wednesday, I'll use this, and I'll decorate the box accordingly. I actually have this radio. I have this radio on my mantle over here, and my intention is to use that when I come back for nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. I'm getting a little choked up because I'm iffy on coming back to that. I really am. That show is all about voice, and I'm kind of bummed on that. Oh, here we got one more here. Let me show you. This is Throwback Thursday, and Throwback Thursday is going to be this. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Throwback Thursday. So we're going to talk about just about anything from the past, you know, things from the past. And then Friday, it's all about me. Fridays is all about me and things from my past, events and stories, concerts, a lot of photographs, kind of a trip down a memory lane, right? Oh, baby. Because memories are all we really are. That's what we do, what we have, what we leave. It's just all about memories. So I'm kind of big on memories. My whole life is pretty much, my life recently is pretty much all about retrospective. Looking back. Because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot happened. Yeah, a lot happened back then. Way back then, 70s, 80s, which is pretty much where my field of expertise is. Now, I sustained a little bit of a brain trauma situation when I was real young. I was in a tree with my brother and fell out of the tree and landed on my skull and cracked it open. And from then on, my life up here has been different than it was prior to that. You know, I was kind of a sad little kid prior to that. I was a miserable kid after that. Yeah, I really became really good at putting on that front so that everybody thought I was really happy, you know, or at least as happy as one could be in our situations. But that's where I learned how to be funny, was just wanting to be accepted and just able to get along, right? But you know, it was so hard growing up knowing full well that you were different, and then having it slapped in your face, and then having people prove to you every single day that you're just not, you're not the same, and not only are you not the same, but you're just not worthy, you know. So, yeah, there's a lot of that. I went through a lot of self-loathing before I figured out that I was hating me because I wasn't them, and I wasn't liking me because I was me, and I had to learn how to like me because I was me, you know. And I went through probably into my 20s and 30s until I started to try to figure out who the fuck I was. Was I this person that everybody thought I was? No. Well, then who the fuck am I? Because nothing seems to be working. And yeah, it wasn't until my father passed away that I really started to think about who I am, who I was, where I am, and why. And the answers that were coming back to me were like, wow, why didn't you see any of this before? Because I didn't want to, basically. And because they had me so convinced that the story I had been told about who I am was the story that I was supposed to believe, right? And when you don't want to question shit, you don't want to get into stuff, then you just don't, you know? But, so yeah, so Friday, we get to go and look at pictures of me and talk about me and why on earth am I me? Yeah, I know I have something, oh, here we go, planned for Thursday. Yeah, so Thursday, tomorrow, we're going to talk about the book that I'm reading, Brave New World. I got a couple of chapters left, and I just need to take an hour, maybe hour and a half, and read the last three or four chapters that I have left. But like I've said before, my brain don't work right when it comes to reading. So sometimes I can sit and I can read for hours, and sometimes I can read for a couple of minutes. Sometimes I can read for a couple of minutes, and then I have to stop for a couple of minutes, and then I can read for an hour, and then I got to stop, and then I can only read for a couple of minutes, and then I come back and it just depends on where my head is at and how much I can focus and concentrate on what the hell I'm doing, and to be on the right frame of mind, you know. Got to be in the right frame of mind. Totally. So last night, yesterday we watched McCloud, Cowboy in Paradise, and last night we watched Columbo, an episode with Kim Cattrall. And, oh, she was young. I mean, she must have been 18 or 20, right? Probably 18. She was really young. Smoking cigarettes, looking like a 1920s Hollywood movie star. Her hair was parted and combed, and then had a little bit of curl at the bottom. And she wore a bathing suit, and she wore these clothes that just kind of give the air of old Hollywood, right? And the fact that the episode revolved around the movie Citizen Kane, and Rosebud, and that was pretty cool, because as soon as they panned through the house and they came up on the wall where the sled Rosebud was stuck on the wall, I went, oh my God, and I told my wife the story, and then instantly the guy went into the story of Rosebud, and it's like, oh, see, I've been vindicated. I know what I'm talking about. That's a great movie, but one of my favorites? No. I'm going to have to think real hard about an Orson Welles' favorite movie. Because they were all kind of weird. I mean, he really got into doing some heavy stuff. And he didn't do too many movies where he was a front man. It's a few movies behind the scenes directing. One of his parts that I really like was when he played Robin Masters on Magnum P.I., the original. I don't go in for this reboot Magnum P.I. That's a bunch of crap. I wouldn't wipe my ass with that any of those scripts. It's just crap. I watched it for a couple of minutes. I put it on. Went, wow, they brought it back. Where's he going to be? How are they going to do this? Is this a continuation? And it's like, nope. This is a complete copy, updated. And it's like, no. And the fact that the Higgins character is now a female, give me a break. Just give me a break. All right? I mean, come on. Really? If you can't reboot something and keep it true to the original as an extension of the original, then give it up. Because all you're doing is you're putting a smudge on what was once great is now. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like a police academy version of what was once a great show. Just leave it alone. I tried to watch the reboot of Hawaii Five-0, and that was really horrible. I mean, not only was it like a government propaganda film, every fucking episode goes against all the realities of law, right? You ain't got, just like Blue Bloods and Wahlberg, you ain't got no rights till I give you your rights. It's like, whoa, hello, really? So you get out there, and people who are dumb enough to watch this shit and believe it, because believe me, 85% of Americans believe the bullshit they watch on TV. Look at them. Look at how they live their lives and how they act and how they dress. It's obvious they believe the bullshit that comes through that fucking idiot box. And now they can take that idiot box around wherever they go, driving down the road, watching their idiot box. Yep. So, it just, the Hawaii Five-0 was just garbage. The only thing good about that were the two characters that got kicked off because they wanted more money. But because they were not white, as far as I understand the story, they were let loose because they don't want to get paid less than their white counterparts. So two of them bailed. And they just filled their shoes with other hungry actors. And that was pretty fucked up. And then the other good part of the show was Hugo. I don't remember his name, but the character Hugo from Lost, the big guy. Hugo. Anyway, he was or Jorge. I don't remember. He was the big guy, and he was my favorite character on Lost. But other than these three characters, the show was crap. The guy they had in the lead, he was just an asshole, and you could totally tell he was a fucking womanize an alcoholic, gambling fucking jerk brain, which I think is, you know, what's come out about him is that he's just an asshole. And then, who was that kid, that actor's kid that was on the show? Oh, what was his name? Well, my mind is drawing a blank. Caan. James Caan's kid. Something Caan. So he was on that show. And his acting was I mean, his acting at the end of the series, if it's ended yet, his acting now is much improved since the beginning of the series. Because I mean, all he could really do was kind of copy his father's attitude in a couple of, and that was it. You know, he would just have his father's attitude, and that was acting. And I tried it. I really tried it because I wanted a show like that I could enjoy, and I love Hawaiian shows. And it was just disappointing. It was just, I mean, I watched season after season. It just became more and more. I tortured myself, and then I began to hate watch the show. I would watch it just to go, it's fucking shit and that fucking, and there are shows that I love to hate watch, but not shows that I'm supposed to enjoy, right? Watching, and then wind up hate watching it. My wife loves to watch Naked and Afraid. I love to hate watch Naked and Afraid and just shut up. But she just sits there and laughs because I you know, everything that I'm joking around about is like right on. So other shows that I love to hate watch. There's this show on Netflix that is this garage of this guy owns a garage, and there's this guy in the garage up front that gets him jobs, and then there's this team of 3 or 4 guys in the back and a girl, and they do the jobs, right? And it has got to be the dumbest fucking show in the world. Every single episode is the same. Every season is the same. It's just, let's get together and convince the audience that this is really happening, and we didn't plan this out over the last 10 months on, we'll get this guy and he's going to pretend to sell us this when all in all we actually know that we own it all. You know, it's just bullshit, you know. And then this guy's going to come in and he's going to get mad because we're doing the wrong thing and he's not going to buy it, and then we're going to have to hold on to it, and all of this shit is pre-written and predetermined. And I mean, they literally have to take these things out and blow the dust off them because they've been sitting around waiting for the seasons to start so they could say, hey, well, this is what we got. I mean, it's stupid. And I love to hate watch that fucking show and bag on these fucking idiots and their stupidity and the ever-changing female on the show, right? And not just her. There's a guy on the show that's changing too. I mean, and it's okay to change. Change is natural. We're humans, right? But I mean, she went from a normal-looking girl, and now she looks like a Kardashian copy. Seriously. You do a lineup of 8 women, 8 random women, and 7 of them are going to look like a Kardashian. You can't even tell the Kardashians apart now. They all look fucking alike. It's so fucking disgusting. And the worst part is that without all the makeup and hair, all 8 of these women look completely different and nothing alike, right? You take away everything that they've done to change themselves, and they're all completely different women. Yet when they go out Friday night, Saturday night, they look like a trash heap. Sorry, but that's the way it is. That's the way I see it. You know, you want to come here, you're going to get honesty. You're going to get truth. But it's going to be my honesty and my truth. It has nothing to do with you or anybody out there. So don't take it personally. It's just the way I see the world. You know, this is my eyes looking out. Yeah. It is time for what Joey refers to as the iconic bong hit, because that's what I do here. Yeah. I mean, it's really unfortunate that the world is so controlled by, well, I can't say the world. Even though most everyone on the planet, even the poorest of poor, living on a dirt floor and cooking with an open fire and shitting in the woods, right, in a hole, they have a phone and they have access to what everybody else has access to. All right? What's hilarious is that these people can go into town and go to the local shipping office and pick up a package that they've ordered from Amazon. The poorest of the poor people now have credit and they have access to a smartphone. That right there is like a recipe for social disaster. Now these things, you should have access to anything in the world because of this smartphone, right? But what are people getting? Right? What are people getting? Are they getting food and clothing and water filters and solar? Yeah, sure. Are they going out to the people in the... No, the people out there, they're ordering, the fancy pants clothes and things to make them look like they got $1 million. Living on a dirt floor, cooking with an open fire, shitting in a hole in the woods, right? So we're we're out of whack, Instead of the smartphone getting everybody together on the planet and giving us a sole purpose and goal for humanity, it's taken us and shot us in all directions. All directions. And out into space. We're all gone now. There is no unity anymore. When the phones came about, and I thought, this is the best thing to happen to humanity, is the fact that you can learn anything like that right here. Okay? And now, then social media, and I'm like, now you can share anything. So okay, so we've got people over here that need to know some information that's going to help them technologically advance and get out of dirt floors and open fire cooking and shitting in the woods, right? And what happens? All that information, they don't care about that. They want to care about what they look like on that video that they're making, and they'll spend their money rather on something to better their lives, something to make their lives look better on social media. So he's going to save up money collecting cans, and rather than better himself, he's going to get that app that'll help him create videos with special effects that make him look like he's living this extravagant life. So there's something cattywampus, something off kilter about where the smartphones have taken us. It's a bummer. It is a big time bummer, because you would think that it would be just fantastic to get everybody connected, but we're all so disconnected. We may follow people, right? We don't know these people that we're following. We feel like we know them. We feel like we want to live their glamorous lifestyle, and we pretend to. I'm saying we. I got nothing to do with that whole let's pretend kind of thing. As you can tell from my surroundings, I do not live a glamorous life. I do not. Most of the stuff that I collect is garbage, and I'm just saving it from the landfill, basically. So, toe, 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 toe. Uh-oh. I gotta push play again. There we go. Cattywampus. So, Old Time Radio Wednesday. Yeah, my intention was to just play a bunch of radio shows today and talk about them. But because I'm still kind of in the experimental stage and the getting caught up stage here, I'm not real worried about it. And I'm not ever real worried about content on my show, because my show, first and foremost, is exactly that, a reality show. It's just whatever is happening, that's what's happening. If I decide I want to sit here and read and listen to music, I'm going to do that. You know, most days I will have a box, and I will set the box up here, and I will pull stuff out of it and set it here on the desk, and we will kind of learn and explore. And I got this 1980s folding card table to use as a desk because it was vintage, and I wanted to have a place to display stuff, show and tell. So we're going to be doing a lot of show and tell, and I'm going to fill these boxes. Every day is going to have a box, and I will fill them full of things to discuss, and we'll get through as much out of the box as we can. And we're going to start that on Monday. And Monday, movie memories, I'll put in here memorabilia, movies, movie stuff, and then also we can use the computer to pull up graphics and to talk about movies and watch trailers and whatnot. So it'll be pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then I'm always open for suggestions on topics. So that'll be neat. Let's see. Tomorrow is Thursday, Throwback Thursday. Go ahead, go throw up. So, we'll be talking about A Brave New World, and which is a book that I'm really having fun reading. Brave New World. And, alarm. How alarming. And my Tatsuro Yamashita collection that I have recently been gifted from a friend. So that'll be cool. And I know pretty much nothing about the record collection, the collection of records that I have in my collection. So we'll have fun learning more and discussing that. Also, Thursdays is a day when we'll listen to some Grateful Dead music. We'll talk about past concerts, play with toys and things and stuff from the past, and possibly fiddle around with the guitar. I don't really sing too much anymore because I don't have any teeth in it. I haven't gotten used to it yet. So, but I do have a new electric guitar over here, and I am really kind of having fun relearning stuff. I picked up the acoustic guitar the other day and my songbook, and unfortunately I didn't write down a few chords in my songbook, and I tried to play a song, and I was really bummed that I didn't remember some of the chords, so I'm going to have to dig up so I'm going to have to kind of go through the motions before I wrote that particular piece and see if I can cobble together the songs that I was playing before I wrote that, because those chords would kind of inform me on what chords so I got to go there. Anyway, I just got a message from a friend, so I'm going to read this real quick. There we go. All right, just send a message. Send a message there. So there you go. What am I doing? I reckon that the show will get better here, because that is my plan, is to kind of every day have a box full of stuff to talk about, so that we don't have slowdowns like this. Yeah, unless of course it's just a brain fart, which happens all the time because I'm old and I smoke a lot of pot and I got, you know, all kinds of mental shit going on. I'm just mental. Yeah. So we can talk about a few other things here on my desk before we go, because this desk is kind of well, it's kind of a replica of the desk that's sitting in storage. I can't put that desk. Well, I could, but it would go from here, probably here, all the way to the wall. And it's a big old school desk with big drawers and boards that slide out and lockings. And it's really a nice desk, but it takes up a lot of room. So I actually might go back to that desk at some point. That's kind of a wrap up, because I'm probably going to want to what you call it? Sorry, I dropped a bud. Pardon me, I dropped a bud. So I think I got it. Ow! I think it was just the one. Anyways, I love reality TV, man. You can just do whatever the hell you want. So let's see. Something else that we have here on my desk. Some of the artifacts. Alright, I'm going to do my bong hit here. So, here is one of my pen holders here, and this is the Kennedy Space Center Apollo missions patches, which I have all of these on a vest. I have all of these patches on a leather vest. So that's my Kennedy Space Station mug here. Kennedy Space Center. Here we go. Florida. So that's that. And then this is my vintage Aristo pocket tape. Alright. And this is a pocket measuring tape made by Aristo. It is die-cast metal, and it is old, and it works. And it works great. I actually use this all the time, which is why it's on my desk. And then this is my picture, my vintage picture of my braless, shirtless secretary, because every guy back in the 50s had a nice looking secretary. So in my mind, this secretary, and this is a random photo of a model from back in the 60s, right? So this photo of mine, given the woman a backstory. She was a secretary to a man who became a senator and then took over his senatorship after she took over his business, and yada yada yada, and she became a very, very successful, powerful woman. And back then is when her power began. So anyway, those are some of the things there on my desk. And yeah, there you go. We got a few minutes left in today's program, so I am going to sit here and contemplate the day. Add this album to the collection of records for Music Appreciation Day. Yeah, totally. So tapping, totally McNally. So I keep saying that, but that's just because my brain is going, you wanted to say something, so say it. Well, I don't really have anything to say. I don't. I mean, I keep finding out about people passing away, right? And I have yet to make a video time machine for Friday. So I am probably going to work on that today. If I don't have anything else to do today, I am going to work on a video time machine of ETM for Friday. Because it's only a couple of days away, and I have to create it one night, one day, and then upload it and get my copyright checks. Once the copyright checks are done, if I get any hits that are going to keep me from being viewed, then I have to go back and I have to edit that stuff out. Now sometimes I get a copyright hit and it's only, you know, a region that can't view it. If it's everybody that can't see it, then I can't post it, or I get a hit. I get a dummy, don't do that. So I try to make sure that it's, you know, if people can't see it, it's in some weird obscure place somewhere, Belisarius, Russia, or some, you know, some weird place. And it's like, okay, they're not gonna fuck with me. But because it's being blocked in those areas. But if it's all areas and I don't block it, then it's on me. So there you go. So I'll put together my last bong hitski of the morning show here, and my plan is to get through with every show and then take those things from the box and that show, shelve them and fill up the box and research the show for the next week. So that every day I do a show and then I put the next show together and then forget about it. And then I come back on that day and I open up the box and pull the stuff out of the box, go to that file and have everything kind of waiting for me, right? So I need to get into the repetition of doing that because of going to Hollywood Monday. It kind of threw a wrench into my opening week here, but that's okay. My daughter's off this week, so I should have plenty of time to catch up and straighten things out and get ready so that next week when we come back, we're not so cattywampus from where I want to be. So, so far this week, it's The Boy in Me, Tatsuro Yamashita, 2112 by Rush, Potlatch by Redbone, My Cup Runneth Over. There you go. So, next week, hopefully, we'll be able to discuss Brave New World, the made-for-TV movie. So, that'll be fun. But tomorrow we're going to talk about the book, Brave New World. So be here. and I'll pull out the collection I have of Tatsuro Yamashita, and we will go through that. Yeah. So thanks for joining me today and yesterday and Monday for the for this first week of coming back to live mic, and with no teeth, no less, because I can't not do this any longer. I gotta do this. I gotta be me. The more I don't do this show, the more it tortures me. So I just have to. I gotta do it. Get on out of there, Bubber. Come on, Bubber. Do your show, Bubber. All right. I gotta figure out what's keeping this thing here. Hey, all right. Anyways, thank you for joining me today on this my third episode of Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy, and I will see you tomorrow morning, bright and early. And until then, yeah. Be kind, spread peace and love, not bullshit, but most especially, stay weird, because if you ain't weird, ain't nobody gonna be. All right, people, love ya. Adios. Bye now.